and character Naz was murdered in 1979. This theory is based on the idea that the characters all dress as if from different time periods, and also references their corpse-like blue-green tongues. Number 1. The Rugrats are dead. Popular Nickelodeon cartoon Rugrats centers around a group of toddlers and their mischievous antics, but maybe this iconic 90s series isn't quite what it seems. A popular conspiracy theory has arisen from the depths of the internet, suggesting that the toddlers are all figments of Angelica Pickle's demented delusions. This childhood-ruining theory explains that all of the Rugrats, except Angelica, actually died long before the story began. Tommy, for example, was stillborn. This explains why his dad, Stu, spends all his time tragically making toys for the son that never lived. The DeVilles ended up having an abortion, and as Angelica never found out whether it would have been a boy or a girl, she conjured up the idea of the twins, Phil and Lil, to help her cope. And everyone's favourite goofball, Chucky, died along with his mother, who succumbed to a terminal illness shortly after Chucky was born, making his dad into the nervous wreck we see on screen. As a coping mechanism for her grief, Angelica has created the baby's personalities so she can escape from the horrors of reality.
If you found this video interesting, then head over to Dave and John, the Home Factors, where this week we had an episode about Cristiano Ronaldo,
whether you can marry a horse,
and whether or not Russia are planning on wiping out humanity now.
Insanity, mate.
Is it? And make sure you go over and vote Team Dave. I'm only 5 points behind him.
Nah, don't vote for him. Look at him
now in the card.
He's a disgrace.
And we'll see you next time.
Don't you lash out if he wins again?
Why have you said that?
Well, happened.
Number 10. Chemtrails. Ever seen skywriting? Pretty cool, isn't it? Ever considered that the government may be using airborne chemical or biological agents to enslave your brain, cause cancer, or reduce fertility? Well, me neither, but some do. You know how some planes leave a trail of white smoke behind them while others don't leave a trail at all? The scientific and most favorable explanation is that these plumes of smoke are contrails, which is a fancy word for condensed water vapor, or clouds. Water vapor is of course released from various parts of the engine, which from being at such a high altitude instantly condenses into puffs of white clouds. Of course, this explanation doesn't really fly with paranoid conspiracy theorists. And in all honesty, what does, right? According to the more scientifically well-spoken theorists, this explanation is not always viable or applicable, as many zoomed-in shots of supposed chemtrail planes showed the clouds forming right at the base of the wing, whilst contrails would only be able to form several meters behind the wing due to the heat generated from the engines. In layman's terms, this one's busted. Number 9. Fluoride in water. Just in case you're unaware, if you live in the United States, United Kingdom, Ireland, Canada, or Australia, then it's no conspiracy. They put fluoride in your water. The common explanation for this from dentists and government bodies is it's merely there to whiten your teeth and prevent tooth decay. Why the government would care about that is besides me, but it also has caused quite a few conspiracies to spring up, as well as a general ethics concern. The largest theory surrounding fluoridated water is that the government is actually mass medicating entire countries to be more docile and submissive, so there will be less resistance when they decide that democracy isn't really their thing anymore. A much earlier version of this conspiracy was popular in the late 1940s and 1950s, whereby a large group of right-wing conservatives worried that water fluoridation was a Russian plot to turn the country into left-wing communists. Take that theory as you will, but regardless of the reason for the fluoridation, it certainly isn't a popular move on the government's part, having had several lawsuits filed against local governments for adding non-purifying chemicals to water without the public's consent. Number 8. Flat Earth. To many, this conspiracy probably sounds quite new. We ourselves only heard about it just after Tila Tequila went on that crazy Twitter rant. The Flat Earth Society was formed in 1956, and their beliefs revolve around the concept that, you guessed it, the Earth is flat. The society feels that the conspiracy about a spherical Earth was started by somebody, for some reason. There's really not that much legible information out there, assumably the Earth being a sphere is just another lizard people plot, probably to trick us into giving money to NASA. While the society is quite old, it was only really ushered into the public eye after somewhat famous Tila Tequila went on a serval tweet rant about how much everyone who thinks the Earth is round is an utter moron. With thought-provoking tweets like, why are all the buildings in NYC standing straight up? If Earth was round, then some of the buildings would have a slight tilt. And if Earth was a spinning globe, then how come the North Pole is always seen in the same spot? She even managed to get rapper B.O.B. on board, with him actually creating an entire album dedicated to the Earth being flat. Of course, scientists like Neil deGrasse Tyson made the very poor mistake of attempting to argue with a conspiracy theorist, and actually took the time out of his day to explain each and every question that they had. Number 7. Electronic Banking Conspiracy. In an attempt to cripple society as we know it, the lizard people are going to bankrupt us all. Luckily for us, some nice guy even went through the effort of detailing a 6-step plan. The first step revolves around separating humanity from our precious metal-based currency and moving it to worthless paper. As you know, outside of video games, most stores don't really accept gold and silver coins anymore, so that's step 1 down. The next step involves transitioning from physical notes to imaginary virtual money, like credit cards. Damn it. The third step is a final transition to completely non-physical money for payments, with everything going through the internet using virtual banking. Luckily, we're not quite here just yet, but we're fairly close. Banks nationwide are heavily encouraging online banking, paperless billing, and even paperless statements. These are, of course, to reduce paper costs, but they also have the added effect of removing any non-electronic proof of net worth. The fourth step is unifying all banks under one single entity, or a monopoly of sorts. Step 5 involves issuing every citizen an electronic identity card, which would contain all banking information and ID, turning our entire wallet into a single piece of plastic. The last and final step is a worldwide blackout, thus completely removing all forms of currency. This would pretty much be apocalyptic, and that's just what the lizard people want, right? To reduce the world to anarchy so they can enslave us all? Number 6. Vaccines. Thanks to a particularly outspoken group of conspiracy theorists, we managed to resurrect one of the worst child-killing diseases of all time, measles. This was due to a heavy decrease in vaccinations, likely caused by anti-vaccine propaganda accusing vaccines of everything from causing autism to population control. The vaccine conspiracy has been going on for decades, and thanks to several very popular celebrities, has gained much more traction in recent years. It all started when British surgeon Andrew Jeremy Wakefield accused the MMR vaccine, that is the measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, of causing autism. This was quickly discredited, but nonetheless has been cited numerous times by anti-vaccine conspiracy theorists. Unfortunately and ironically, this conspiracy is not only one of the most believed, but also the most dangerous, having caused numerous adults and children to become infected with preventable diseases. One tally by antivaccinebodycount.com shows that nearly 150,000 cases and nearly 9,000 deaths from preventable diseases have occurred since 2007, and that's in America alone. If you have an aching itch to feel that everything is a conspiracy, believe something else on this list. Don't put others in danger because of your paranoia. Number 5. Area 51. Aliens! Aliens, I tell you! They've got aliens! Screams the Area 51 conspiracy theorist. If you live in the US, there's no way you haven't heard of Area 51, being a very popular topic in movies, books, video games, hell, even campfire stories. The thoughts and wonders of what is contained within the infamous Nevada military base have at the very least been thought of once by every American citizen. Many of the theories relate to the government either developing and testing top-secret weaponry, or that the base serves as a secret alien housing complex. Of the alien-involving theories, most branch off the 1947 Roswell UFO incident, during which many believe a UFO crashed to Earth. The government, of course, insists that these thoughts are absolutely ludicrous, and stand firm that it was only a weather balloon. Back in 2011, the CIA declassified several Area 51 documents that revealed Area 51 as a testing site for a new spy plane, the A-12. According to the documents, post-development of the A-12, Area 51 has been quite empty, and the only reason they didn't reveal the truth sooner was because they enjoyed listening to the theories. Despite these documents, conspiracy theorists have not let up, insisting it's just another cover-up. Speaking in their defense in October of 2014, Boyd Bushman, a reportedly former Area 51 scientist, spilled the beans, detailing everything from recreating an alien spaceship to building weapons to, as theorized, housing alien life. He came bearing pictures of actual aliens, which were quickly debunked as fake. But since you can never win with these people, people have debunked the debunking, which has then theorized to be a smear and disinformation campaign, also by the government. This cycle is never going to end. Number 4. Moon landing. Perhaps it was a lack of situational evidence, the suspicious timing, or maybe just people can't wrap their head around the whole thing. There are quite a few people who believe that the 1969 moon landing was a sham. There have been numerous studies into the landings, and unfortunately, pretty much all of them poke some rather large holes in the whole thing. Most theorists credit the cause of the fake landings as a scheme to bankrupt the Soviet Union, and appear as the winner of the space race, which gave America a massive propaganda boost as the smartest and the most powerful nation. All in all, a national poll tallied non-moon landing believers at 1 in 5, which is a strikingly high number, totaling around 64 million people. Number 3. Kennedy's death. Another very controversial conspiracy, the assassination of the 35th US President John F. Kennedy, raised a lot of questions, and answered very few. On November 22, 1963, John F. Kennedy was touring through Dallas, Texas as part of his 1963 re-election campaign. Suddenly, the sound of a large rifle discharging was heard. Most people assumed the sound to be that of a firecracker or a car backfiring. That is, until they looked at Kennedy's vehicle and saw him slumped over. Another 2 shots and Kennedy's life was taken. The man arrested for the assassination, Lee Harvey Oswald, was himself assassinated only days later. There has been much controversy over the events of the assassination, as it seems that video, eyewitness accounts, and FBI investigations all paint a different story. Just days after the assassination, conspiracy theories began to rise over who had killed Kennedy and why, with many actually pointing to the US government itself, or more specifically the CIA. According to rumors, JFK was in the process of revealing so-called government secrets, which the CIA couldn't allow to be released. Along with this, JFK was pulling funding from weapons development, and had began negotiating peace with the Soviet Union to end the Cold War, a move which the CIA had expressed disapproval on. Other theories revolve around a joint plot between the CIA and Mafia, influenced of course by other conspiracies that they had worked together in the past for various illegal and nefarious purposes. Unfortunately, even with all the doubt and confusion surrounding the incidents, nobody can actually prove anything on either side, as the FBI's explanation has been debunked numerous times. Number 2. 9/11. Please do not crucify us for mentioning this, but there is a fairly sized group of Americans that believes the 9/11 terrorist attacks were performed by none other than the US government. There are several main reasons for this conspiracy, with the majority of theorists being skeptical that the towers did not fall properly when the planes hit. Along with this, conspiracists even claim that the planes would not have the strength to collapse the towers, which has led to the very popular internet meme, "Jet fuel can't melt steel beams." On top of all this, many theorize that 9/11 was planned as an excuse to go to war with Iraq, as the rising cost of oil coupled with Iraq's originally apparent lack of defenses would see a large amount of income heading towards America. Regardless of your feelings or thoughts towards who or what caused 9/11, it was still a tragic loss of life, and we're in no way undermining that. We're merely reporting on the conspiracy theories. Number 1. Illuminati. And here we are, the conspiracy that contains all conspiracies. The original Illuminati was a secret society originally founded on May 1st, 1776 and was accompanied by the Bavarian prefix, so the Bavarian Illuminati. The group served as a secret society with secret meetings, doing secret things, all the while in a secret location. Lots of secrets here. The Bavarian Illuminati had 3 ranks of membership, each of which with its own secret signs and passwords. Since the Bavarian Illuminati, the term Illuminati has become a blanket statement for secret organizations, governments, and in just general term to describe those who are truly in power but have never been elected. Also referred to as the New World Order, this modern Illuminati is said to dictate every notable known, as well as every behind-the-scenes unknown, event that has taken place in the past few decades. Theories vary widely about the New World Order, with some even believing them to be inhuman reptilian creatures, hence my referral to the lizard people earlier in the video. If a conspiracy of any form exists, there is a version of it leading back to the Illuminati. Oh, and since the comment section will be upset with us not mentioning it, yes, the Illuminati's most recognizable symbol, the all-seeing eye atop a pyramid, is on the American dollar bill, and no, we don't know why.